What's up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Be Hero X, this time with episode 9, I think it is. Yep. Not sure if the schedule for like 4 episodes per hero is going to be continuing based off last season. Well, I say last season, it feels like a kind of mini season, with the first arc being 4 episodes, last one being 3. Maybe this one's 2. I'm assuming it'll be another 3 episode kind of thing for Lucky Cyan. I think I did hear there's going to be one that is going to be 2 episodes. So, yeah, no idea how the rest of it's going to be formatted. Some people do somehow. I've got no idea how, but yeah, yeah. To be honest, I haven't really majorly looked into it, but yeah, loved last episode. Honestly, probably the strongest setup for a hero so far, in my opinion. It wasn't the most kind of confusing or complex kind of storyline or anything going on, but I really enjoyed it. I loved the music performance at the end, and I just really dug the story and Lucky Cyan's character, so very much looking forward to seeing what we got today. Let me know what you guys think about this one though down in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. But yeah, definitely seems like this could be my favourite arc so far, I would call it. Ooh. I think they call that a habit, what she's wearing there, I think, right? Oh wow, she can just... I mean, it's not bad. It's... I'm listening to a Japanese sub, so he's definitely got English accent. But as a voice, it's not that bad. It obviously sounded a little bit better in Japanese, I think. So what happened at the end of the last episode then? I assume this is them just unfortunately having to return. Maybe. What was it? So it was a failed hero. You see this a lot. I see this a lot. It's something I hate. I understand wanting, like... I mean, in this situation, it's really egregious, but I understand as a parent wanting your child to succeed, but you see this quite often of parents wanting to nurture their kids into athletes and to be highly successful, and beauty pageants are especially one I fucking hate. I get kids maybe want to be involved in stuff like that, but I feel like it's really detrimental to shoehorn yourself into something so specific at such a young age. And with stuff like beauty pageants, I think Little Miss. I recently watched Little Miss Sunshine, and that was really awesome. Talking about beauty pageants, yeah, it can be very detrimental to you and your mental health as a very young girl or boy, I assume. And just like putting your child out there like that, I just find a little bit disgusting. I think that's a bit more egregious than like wanting to make them an athlete. But even then, it's just like you're pushing your kind of failed at once onto your child when they haven't, like, they're going to accept it because you're their parent, so they're going to be like, yeah, cool, I'll do this, even if they maybe don't want to. And even if they do they want to do it to an extreme extent to be an athlete? They can't really give a proper answer to that because they're a bloody child. Again, you see that a lot because people have succeeded in doing that. Like you see that a lot in football. Kids that they call it like Project Mbappe and stuff, where they they just teach their kid football and just try and from like the age of like 3 or 2 or just like stupidly early try and make them obsessed with the sport and train harder than anyone else at that age. And I'm not sure if that's for the success of the kids. I'm not sure if that comes from their failed dreams. I'm not sure if that comes from their want of money, perhaps. The kid's going to be rich, they'll have some kind of success as well. Who knows? Either way, I usually like, and usually I'm not a fan of that stuff. And this director here seems very much in that vein. Whether it be to have this religion that he has and feel powerful in having that, who knows? It's a topic I've spoken about a few times that I've been quite passionate about. It's pretty much another form of again, maybe not quite as extreme, but another form of so this explains why he's got these powers. What's the word for it? Grooming. It's like an accepted form of grooming because it's the parents that do it. So it's never seen like that, but it is essentially like very similar. I mean, I've got to say already, the episodes, some of the character facial expressions are looked just slightly off in terms of. I think that's probably like the Chinese thing where it's like the words they're saying might be a little bit less long than the Japanese words because yeah, the mouth movements really don't match up very well at the start of this episode. Yeah, I'm not sure why you care about capturing him, to be honest. He's super unlucky, and I know that can be useful. Undead Unluck is a very good example. I can't believe I didn't bring that up last week. But yeah, Undead Unluck is a very good example of how unluckiness can be very useful, actually. Perhaps he is valuable. I guess this was her luck coming in here. I'm not sure how you can ever expect to catch her with an ability like hers. It's pretty pointless. Hmm. Oh shit. Oh crap. I mean, to be honest, people were saying last week, who do we expect to die first? It's almost a miracle that Unlucky Kid hasn't died already, considering his ability. Yeah, it was like in every other arc, some of the most loved characters from the point of view of the protagonist have died. So, is it much surprise? That looks like he hasn't died quite yet. But yeah, as I said, it's quite a miracle that that kid is not dead already. But yeah, again, people were saying like they were pretty much expecting him to die at some point. That little unlucky kid. Loss and gain. Really? I don't think he will, to be honest. So with the songs, a question I do have is, I assume that the songs are the same in every version: the English dub, the Japanese dub, and then the Chinese original. I assume they're the same because a lot of the songs we've heard from the series, opening and ending, so on, have been in English. I assume it's just in English in every version. Shameless hero. Yeah, to be honest, again, I can't help but think like scenes like that look a little bit choppy. Not sure about you guys. Maybe that's just me being nitpicky. Like, that looks smooth and nice. But again, there's already been a few times at the start of this episode where it has looked a little bit like there's maybe missing frames or something. Oh, thanks. I don't think we're homeless. I guess we are homeless, to be honest. Who do you reckon that is then? Some random geezer here, proper early in the morning. Do you reckon that's that Hero X that this show's named after? The one with the white hair that we see in the opening? Kind of looks like it could be the same build. Oh, really? We're doing lotto tickets. I mean, to be fair for her. And she doesn't even win? What was that about? Oh. Uh, that's interesting. Really? So many people have already lost trust in her? I mean, I get the fact that a lot of the people who at that orphanage wouldn't. Sorry, just to pause a sec. I pretty sure that was in like the 5 digits, right? Hard to tell because they don't really look like proper numbers. It's kind of hard to tell if it is like 5 digits, but I think I saw like 5 digits on her wrist, at least at some point. And it was a bit of a religion, but there was not 10,000. At least there was not at least 10,000 people at that orphanage. Was there? Let's be real here. There was probably maximum 1,000, maximum. By the way. Um, and you can understand losing all the trust of those people. Oh, it just gets really complicated now, doesn't it? Because uh, does that mean that all the people that she helped before and that have come here and have used her power or heard of her have heard that she escaped and then lost trust in her? I don't. One, I don't think every single person would have known to the point where it gets into the single fucking digits. Two, again, I don't really care too much about the logistics. The story is what the author kind of makes it, so it doesn't really mean an awful lot. But just to question the logistics in this case, that's one issue I have. Second issue is with the power of luck. Surely her luck would have also meant that it would have been lucky if the people that did trust in her. This is assuming I know how the system works. I'm still not 100% sure how the power system works. But surely if she did have good luck, then that good luck would have meant that it would have been good luck that those people wouldn't have heard that she escaped, so she would have never lost their trust value. Like the luck would have meant that she would ever lose her luck, if that makes sense. It would be lucky to never lose the luck. I don't know. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, I'm not 100% sure how it works. So I can't say that with like confidence, but just a couple just points that kind of stand out a bit to me. It's like, how the hell does someone with this ability end up in this situation? It's a little bit questionable. I can understand her being in a situation before she got any kind of religion or so on. Yeah. I was gonna say, I guess it doesn't matter how much luck you have. Doing scratch cards and lottery is always gonna scam you. I mean, you got a question. They're giving away £10 million or dollars in the lottery. Where do they get that money from? They got it from you, and they're giving away a lot less than they make, I assume. I need a bigger cup of this, right? Honestly, that's pretty funny. Where's she sleeping at night? The question I have. Hopefully she's safe. It's fucking shit, man. It really feels like quite AI generated that scene in a very cheesy kind of AI generated way, if you know what I'm saying. So they recognize her. Surely then. Oh no. Oh no. It's an incredible ability. The fucking the crazies are about. So one thing I really like, I know this religion specifically is just stupid, but one thing I do kind of get tired is that I'm not religious at all. Um, One thing I am kind of getting fatigue of is the whole kind of crazy church people that are just like way over top and way like obsessed and are not normal human beings. I think especially because it's as a horror fan, you see that I've seen that quite a lot in horror movies, and it was always quite a funny trope. But yeah, the more kind of time goes on, the more it's just like very unoriginal and very yeah. Not, the more time goes on, the more I'm less of a fan of it, making these people seem crazy. I get they might look that way to you. Um, all these people have very good values, actually. Not in this case. Like I said, this is just like a bullshit religion. But it's like, I don't laugh at these people. Okay, so we've gone back up to seemingly 5 figures. I have got to assume that as with most heroes, the more trust value they have, the more powerful their abilities are. So I kind of wonder what her peak is. I wonder if her peak's just like she looks at someone and that person then becomes instantly rich. Is that how she peaks? She looks at someone and that whole person's bloodline is then blessed for the rest of eternity. Yeah, one thing here is we haven't really given too much thought to this geezer who I could assume is having a pretty damn tough life after all this. Another question I do have is like, obviously we're not got into it just yet, but the hero stuff for her, does she actually go out on like missions and deal with villains? We saw her perform. Perhaps that's just like enough. Perhaps that is her kind of hero kind of. Yeah, perhaps that is her hero kind of job, I guess, like performing and giving people luck rather than deal with villains and stuff. Oh, no way I can even begin to think what that said. So yeah, pretty much saw this last season, didn't we? As I said, we haven't seen her really think about him for a while, have we? Just a little bit sad. Sorry, guys. Woke up instantly. Had pretty bad hay fever today, so look at the amount of people in the stadium. This is a giant stadium, this, isn't it? Good. I mean, she's not the type of girl to just forget about someone like that, is she? Nice. Surely there's like something she can do for him now, though, right? The position, the position she's in now, being a hero. Surely she can get like the company or something like sort out some situation where we can take him out of that orphanage or get someone to like adopt him or something, right? I feel like that'd be one of the first things I do if I just became a hero. but I'm getting him out of there ASAP. I do that. I do love the fact she is still using that strapped up guitar. Yeah, that was an incredible amount of people to perform to. Wow. What the hell's going on here? They're kind of like zombies. It kind of sounds like zombies. Oh my god. Oh really? Wow, that was the whole episode. That went by very quickly. We did. There was a lot of songs happening. To be fair, there was like 5 songs. That felt really quick. Was this episode usual length? I'm gonna assume it was, but that felt really quick. I guess it's just because I think especially the first arc felt quite quick as well because the pacing was quite quick. Say that for like the 5th time. But yeah, the pacing was fast in that first arc, but it was paced well. I think sometimes it can feel a bit like a blur, but I think they've done it pretty well, and it feels the same here. Quick episode, fast paced, but legible and understandable and good. But again, just a few kind of questions like why would she not try and help him now she's in a position to? Before I performed or anything, I'd be like, we're going to that orphanage and we're saving that kid. Maybe she's not in an exact position to. Maybe it's one of those things of she needs to do like at least a performance or something to set like the groundwork in to be valued, so they don't just like get rid of her. Like they don't just laugh at her request. We're going there to save this kid. Why should they do that for you? I'll just drop you if you like if you make a big thing out of it. Could be that case. I'm interested to hear what he said here. So it does look like this is going to be at least 3 episodes, which is good. I feel like it very much needs it because as much as this episode did feel quite quick, we didn't actually kind of. I mean, we saw the kind of span. It feels crazy to say this because we saw the span of her essentially being homeless to becoming a hero, but it still feels like we didn't cover an awful lot during that time, even though that is a long way to jump, if you know what I'm saying. So it sounds pretty paradoxical to say that, but it didn't feel like we covered all too much. Maybe it's because I am more invested. I'm less invested in the journey from bum to hero for her, as much as that was cool to see. I'm much more invested in her relationship with this unlucky kid, to be honest with you. But like the first episode was really like that was the biggest takeaway for me. So um, again, it's kind of interesting to see how he has just been kind of left here, even though she evidently, as she said in the performance, there is still thinking about him. It's very strange, but yeah, like I said, I wonder what he said to him here. I was gonna say, I was thinking that he might end up take. I mean, everything in his room's been taken away. He's got absolutely nothing except for this radio here. I was thinking initially that he was going to take the radio as well, and he was going to be left with nothing. But the fact that he's left him with just a radio, probably to listen out for her performance, maybe to rub it in like she got away and you never will or something like that. You can listen to her be free, which I think he'd find pleasure in. I think he'd find pleasure in that, but from this old guy's perspective, the guy who runs the orphanage, I think it'd be a thing of putting it right in your face that you'll never see her again and so on. So but again, I think he kind of spins that in a positive light. It's nice just to hear that she's doing well and to hear her voice again. But yeah, it's funny how something can kind of work in two ways like that. But yeah, again, I do very much wonder what he said here. We'll probably, hopefully, find out next episode. Yeah, it looks like he's had a very tough existence. Something up with his eye, pink eye or something. Got a broken arm. It looks like nothing in his room anymore. And they've grown, as much as her appearance doesn't show it quite as much, he looks like he's grown quite a lot, so it has been quite some time, hasn't it? But yeah, good episode. A lot of music today. A lot of music. I think there was like at least like 4 or 5 different kind of performances throughout the episode, wasn't there? And all of them were very nice, very good. Yeah, I don't think this was quite as good as last episode. I think it was necessary again to get her from point A to point B, and there was some fun in between. But in terms of again developing on the story of the characters, for her it's done a little bit, but not nearly as much as that first episode accomplished, in my opinion. So I'm going to be really excited to see next episode and see what does happen with this unlucky boy. To be honest with you, I make it sound like I'm more invested in him. I definitely am more invested in Lucky Cyan, but again, it's more of a kind of, they both come as a package. Like I'm invested in their relationship. It's like, yeah, and just the way the plot is, they're not together at the minute, so inevitably, I'm not quite as invested as that first episode. But yeah, do let me know what you guys thought about this one down in the comment section. Again, it's still a good episode. Again, there was a few kind of weird looking bits of animation, but I'm not sure if that was again a kind of Japanese dub thing where they had to maybe cut some of the mouth movements, and that made it look a little bit more choppy because they had to make them less frames because of what they were saying or something. I don't know. Could be something like that, but yeah, I do have to say that especially like the first 5 minutes did look slightly choppy for some reason. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys next week with episode 10.